It is 6 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. Jen, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Why, yes, I will. Oh, we got to stand up for this. Okay, this is tricky.
What are you doing?
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Where is the?
Oh,
Go ahead.
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
Invisible,
indivisible,
liberty,
and justice for all.
All right, we haven't gotten that down yet. What's the point? Actually, we're doing great. So,
Bill, I have one person here who is dialing in. Phone number is 2389335.
yep.
Any idea of who that would be?
Can they identify themselves?
Can you identify yourselves with a name?
Are they muted on our side?
You have to admit them and then
Yeah, I guess. Okay, never mind. We just did that.
okay, just ask.
Kathy, that's Lydia Darling.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Man. So the first order of business is the look to approve the work session meetings. Ugh, it's easier for me to say. So the June 8th work session meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I motion to accept the work meeting minutes as written.
Okay.
You or John, I guess.
So, okay, Zach moved and John seconded, just because, John, you were quieter. And by roll call, Zach, your vote.
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
I was going to say Jenny, but I better not. Mary Ann?
aye.
Bill? Aye. Those minutes have passed. Secondly, it's the June 8th regular meeting minutes. Is there
I make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes as written.
Second.
Okay, who seconded? Oh,
I
Neil.
did.
All right, so Mary Ann moved, Neil seconded. Mary Ann, your vote.
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Okay. Announcements. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. We'll have regular meetings at 6 p.m. on Monday, July 13th, and also July 27th. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. The town offices will be closed on Friday, July 3rd, in observance of Independence Day. And all of the meetings will be held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the town hall before 12 p.m. on the Friday before the scheduled meeting. And the first order of business after that is Marlin Collingwood, PSU Vice President. What was that? Marlin's a PSU Vice President of Communications, Enrollment, and Student Life. Marlin, I saw you earlier. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, you must be on. Okay.
I might be on another screen. Thank you all for inviting me. I'm just here to give a very brief update on where we stand with our fall opening plans. As many people know, Plymouth State University is planning to open. Welcome back our students, both returning students and new students, as planned in August. We've had a task force of 13 teams that have been working since April to determine exactly how we're going to open and how we're going to do it in a way that is both safe and for our students and for the community and our faculty and staff. So we have a web page. If anybody hasn't been to plymouth.edu, as soon as you get to that web page, in the top of the web page on the top right hand side, there's a fall opening link that will take you to our fall opening web page which has all of the communication that's gone out to date and all of the task force teams listed. You'll also see there a video of a town hall that we did for faculty and staff about a week ago. But that's the place where you'll get all updated information. Two things that I want to emphasize before I start, and I'll mention this again. We are planning a town-wide virtual town hall for anyone from the Plymouth or Holderness areas that are interested in zooming into that. We can hold up to 5,000 people on that town hall. And that is July the 20th, Monday, July the 20th, from 1 to 2:30 p.m. During that town hall, Don Burks will be walking through the details of all of the plans for fall reopening, and it'll also be a chance to ask questions and have questions answered. Our plan is that we will be, there is a message going out from President Burks in the Salmon Press this week, and also posters that will be appearing around town in the next week or so, reminding folks about the July 20th town hall, virtual town hall. So we are working hard to get that word out to a variety of folks, and we'll also be sharing that via social media on all of the appropriate social media pages in the next week or so. I can report that our hope is that we will have a pretty thorough document by the beginning of next week that will be posted on the plymouth.edu fall opening webpage that will detail the next steps we're taking in getting ready for move-in. I can tell you 5 different areas that are worth mentioning, I think, and that are important for both our students, faculty, and staff, and for the town and residents and businesses. Our plan is the classes will begin as planned on the 24th of August. We anticipate that we will have students moving in up to 10 days prior to that, because we will be staging move-in. All of our students will not move in at one time. They will be coming in on various days over about a 10-day period. Our classes will continue in person with a hybrid remote in-person option. There may be some classes that will be remote, some classes that will be in person. A variety of those options are available, both to service our students who have different needs and also faculty and staff, depending on the needs that they have. But we anticipate that students will return. Classes will begin on August 24th. We will be having classes throughout that the fall semester on all of the holidays. We will not be taking any holidays off. We will not be taking Veterans Day off, Columbus Day off, Labor Day off. Classes will happen throughout that entire time. Classes, in-person classes, will end on the 20th of November. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday through November 24th is when finals and reading week will take place. All students will leave campus on the 24th of November, and they will not return until the 18th of January, when our spring semester is set to begin. So you may have seen a lot of schools are looking at this model. We are doing that so that we will not have to do any remote classes at all before Thanksgiving. Finals will take place over a 4-day period, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Campus will close on the 24th of November and will not reopen until the 18th of January. All students, faculty, and staff will be tested before the opening of campus, before the beginning of classes on the 24th. We will be conducting about 5,500 tests in late July and August of faculty, staff, and students. And then that entire population will be tested a second time 2 weeks after classes begin. So that gives us a baseline of where we're starting. And then it lets us know what's happened, if anything, over those 2 weeks that our students, faculty, and staff have been together. Then there will be a series we're anticipating between 600 and 800 tests a week will be conducted at Plymouth State from throughout the semester. That includes testing of all of our athletes who are going to be participating in competition. They will all be tested prior to their games. That includes random testing of student groups and organizations, the Student Senate, fraternities and sororities, large clubs, random testing of a variety of different folks in the residence halls, which will allow us to keep to monitor what's happening on campus. From that important part of that is a comprehensive contact tracing mechanism that's going to be put in place. We're going to be working closely with the New Hampshire Department of Health. We're going to be training our own students and staff members to be contact tracers paid for by the state, and they will be working with the state to trace all of the contacts. So if somebody does test positive, within 24 hours, the goal is that anyone that person has come in contact with will be contacted by our contact tracing team, and an isolation quarantine program begins to happen then. We are planning for about 30 off-campus isolation quarantine rooms, if you will, and those will be for students who test positive. They will have their meals delivered there. They will take all of their classes remotely until they test negative. More details on the contact tracing, the isolation, quarantine, and the testing will be available towards the end of this week, the beginning of next week, and that will be available on the Plymouth webpage. The other thing is our campus will remain closed to the public throughout the rest of this year. So there will be no access to anyone in any of our buildings that are not active students with an ID or active faculty and staff with a current ID. The library will be closed. There will be no public performances at the Silver Center. There will be no sporting events that will have spectators. The ice arena will be closed. The hockey team is planning to play, but there will be no spectators in there. And the hub, Prospect Dining Hall, none of those buildings will be open to anyone other than active faculty, staff, and students. That includes Allwell North, so we will not be able to resume our walking that a lot of the community I know participates in and enjoys. It's just not a possibility given the current situation. So all of our buildings will be not available to the community for the remainder of this calendar year. We'll revisit that as we come into January and determine where things are. Students, faculty, and staff will be required to wear masks inside at all times. There will be some lenience and some different rules inside their own residence halls, but in classrooms, as they're in any campus buildings, faculty, staff, and students will be wearing masks. We are going to be launching in very early July a public education campaign that will be not just for our students, faculty, and staff, but also for the Plymouth community. And that will include advertisements, posters, social distancing recommendations. We've had one good meeting about 2 weeks ago with our local landlords. We're going to continue to work with them so that they are able to utilize the same contact tracing, testing mechanisms for all of our off-campus students. Steve Temperino from the University Police Department has been working closely with the town and with Chief Lefebvre and his department on how we're going to manage off-campus behavior. We are rewriting, updating our student code of conduct that will now include social distancing and personal protective information while on campus, which means that students who do not abide by our social distancing policies on or off campus can be brought through the student conduct process. This is the same program, the same plan that is going to be happening at Keene State University, at Keene State College, and at the University of New Hampshire. So it's a system-wide effort that's being coordinated by the system with each campus developing a specific program tailored to their community and their students, faculty, and staff. The last thing I'll mention is that one of our task forces teams that we have on our fall opening task force is a community and alumni team that is chaired by Jess Dutile and John Scheinman. We have Kathy Lowe is on that committee. Bill Bolton is on that committee. We have one of our local landlords on that committee, and they are open to talk to anyone. We're going to probably do a couple of town halls specifically that committee will run at some point in July and early August. Again, the plans are still being developed and finalized. Our goal is to be able to share everything that we have when we have it to our community and then the broader community.
Thank you, Marlin.
And I know that was a lot. I'm happy to answer questions if there are any.
Sure. First on the board, any questions?
This is actually a question more for the board than for Marlin. Should we promote that July 20th town hall on the Plymouth website and on our Facebook pages?
We would love that if you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Marlon, will students be rooming by themselves or?
No, all of our, so we have reconfigured the residence halls that there will be we will have no triples or quadruples, but students will be, I would say about 40% of our residence hall rooms are already singles. The rest of those will remain doubles.
Okay.
Will there be more off-campus students?
I anticipate that there may be a few more off-campus students. We have let a few more go off, but we're actually finding that for a variety of reasons this year, more students want to stay on campus than live off campus. I think part of the issue there was that in the spring, students who were living off campus were not able to get refunds on their rent or out of their leases when we ended our in-person classes. So I know some students have, and their parents have decided for this year, we want you to try to live on campus. But we're working with the landlords as we release people. Neil, we're letting the landlords know directly so that they can take advantage of and get those students properly situated in an apartment or off-campus housing.
Thank you.
So Marlon, I got a question about the
Yeah.
testing.
Yeah.
Is the intent still to have Spear do the testing for you?
So no, we are, so Spear will continue to be our partner, and they will provide a variety of medical services but what we have made a decision is that as a system, we are contracting with one outside group that's going to handle all of the testing. So that will be 30,000 tests in August and another 30,000 on all of our campuses 2 weeks later, and then approximately 3,000 tests a week for combined. And we have two proposals, one from Convenient MD and another from Quest Diagnostic, who will give us a guarantee for us to all of the testing supplies and the laboratory space to have those tests back to us in 24 to 36 hours. Spear will continue to provide testing periodically, rapid testing as we might need it for asymptomatic individuals, but we'll be entering into an MOU for them to continue to be an enhanced medical partner, but they do not have the ability to do all of that testing.
Okay, great. Anyone else from the board or anyone from the town that's on?
Marlin, is the ice arena still set up as overflow for
The ice arena,
beds?
yes, the ice arena is still set up as a surge unit for Spear Hospital. We believe that in the next 2 weeks, the governor's office is probably going to tell the communities, those 7 areas, that they can take those down. We have decided on our own to leave that up through the beginning of October for whatever need we might have. And Spear has agreed that they'd like us to do that. So until the end of September, Ice Arena will still be set up as it is right now.
And I see that Jess Dutile is on as well. And I want to thank both Jess and John Scheinman for very, very good facilitating of the community meeting. I mean, there you go, I go again. But yeah, they did a great job on their whatever section. What do you call it? Group.
So thank you all. I'm available anytime to answer questions that anybody might have.
Thank you very much, Marlon.
Thanks.
Thanks, Marlon.
Okay. Now, Tom Morrison. We have a carryover request for first responder comp mobile and grant. Tom, you want to talk about that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an opioid follow-up grant that we received to provide follow-up care with opioid patients. That includes Narcan leave behind program, counseling, and referral to other professional services. The fiscal year for that agency runs through December 31st, so we have until then to utilize that funding, and that's why the carryover request. The good news is that since the advent of COVID, for whatever reason, the opioid calls for us anyway are down, and so the numbers that we had predicted have not come to bear, so that's good.
Okay. Thanks, Tommy. And
Yes.
now that is the remainder of that grant is $9,329.73. Correct?
Yes.
All right. And I guess you also have a request for fire engine number 1, a Walmart grant.
Yes, so that truck just went into the shop last week, and I don't expect to have an invoice in this fiscal year, and that's why the request to carry that over as well.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you, Tommy, for relaying those.
Thank you.
You need a motion and a vote, Bill.
Oh, we do, to keep those monies in carryover and for the, okay.
Do we have to motion them individually, or can we do them all together?
You can do them together is fine.
All right.
So moved.
Thank you, Zach. Zach, so moved. Is there a second? What's that? Mary Ann, did you second?
Oh, sure, I'll second.
I wasn't forcing you to do that, but so Zach moved, Mary Ann seconded. Zach, your vote.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Neil.
Aye.
Mary Ann.
Aye.
Bill, aye. Okay. Well, thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
All right, Ann, you are up. The Santander Bank.
This is to allow us to make 3 payments towards the the sidewalk tractor out of the bond that's coming up beginning July 1, 2020. We do have 4 payments left. We were only budgeted 3 of them. So depending on the situation with the bond funding and how all the other expenses come in, we possibly would have 1 more payment left. If not, we may be able to take this out of the bond, the 4th payment.
Okay.
Bill?
So it's $111,576 is the amount of the purchase order.
For the 3 payments.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So therefore, is there a motion to put 3 payments towards the sidewalk tractor payable through the bond?
And just a quick question, or do we need a discussion after the motion?
Yeah, we'll discuss it. How about that?
Second.
Okay, so John actually, moved. You seconded. Any discussion, Zach?
And the 3 payments totaling $111,576, and then we have the second sheet that says 143,537. Does that mean the fourth payment is just the balance of those two?
It is. It's the balance of the actual lease itself.
Okay. That was my only question.
Bill, I have a question.
Yeah, John.
What was the total cost on that tractor?
140, and it was over 200,000.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, I was right.
Is it a purchase buyout, right?
Yes.
Yes.
How does it run? Is it run good?
Yes. So far, so good.
So, any other discussion? What was this the one that we got free first year?
Yes.
Right.
Pretty tempting.
Now
Well
we know
done.
I messed up with 3 or 4 payments.
Mhm.
We thought we were paying it off, but we didn't have to pay the first year.
Yeah. Well, and we could have like turned it back too at that point, but
Could have, yeah.
all right. Well, in any event, we've made a motion, we've seconded it. We've had any further discussion? Seeing none. Zach, your vote.
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Marianne,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Very good. Okay, Steve, Consolidated Communications, new phone system.
Yes, this is also for the bond come after July 1st. The board should know too, is we just had our phone system fail on us 2 weeks ago. And we were told, well, we told prior to even 2 weeks ago that they cannot repair because it is, our phone system's too old to be able to repair it. We were fortunate enough that the company had a used one sitting on their shelf, which they gave it to us and fixed our phone system. They put a Band-Aid on it, but we are in need of a new phone system. And the reason why I really would like to go with Consolidated is we're getting more than just a brand new phone system with them. Rolled into the $19,833, which we've allotted $20,000 in the bond for a new phone system. So that's slightly under budget there. But we're getting more than a new phone system. We are getting a dedicated fiber optic line to the police department for internet services. We are getting a fiber optic lines to all 3 of our radio tower sites. So this is going to kind of roll in with in the bond also with the brand new radio system that we have as well. And this was the only company, obviously Consolidated because it's their lines, the only company that would be able to do all that for that amount of money.
Okay.
And there was also, you know, in the contract, if you read through it, there's some long distance charges and whatnot. So I had to have Ann talk to Consolidated directly with the rep and to make sure that, because we're in a contract now, to make sure that they would let us out of the contract. And that led to her having another conversation with maybe lowering the rest of the town's contract for long distance phone calls as well. So this may all work out for the best for everybody.
Thanks, Steve. Just to get, is there a motion to accept or at least expend those monies for Zach, your vote?
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Marianne,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Oh, God dang it. I was going to discuss this. We blew it. So anyway, I got a question for you. So is this also going to be tied into the university as well? Is there a fiber connection with UNH or what's?
It is not. No, this is our own dedicated fiber optic line.
Okay. So we're not sharing any expenses. This is, you know, we.
No, the only, and I should have brought it up when we're discussing it. I apologize. There is some shared expense with that. Some of the towers that they're running fiber optic lines to, Lakes Region Fire, their dispatch, they were able to. There was some sharing costs there because they wanted to upgrade some of their equipment as well as sharing some space. So that's why they were able to bring the price in so low for running all that fiber optic cable plus a brand new phone system and everything else like that. So
Okay.
we did kind of share costs with them.
All right. Is there any other discussion from the board, even though we passed this? But
Mr. Chair, I just have one more question.
sure.
And in the contract, are you giving me the authority to sign it, or are you going to sign it?
Kathy's
Kathy's going to sign
needs
it?
to be the
Okay.
signer. Yep.
Okay. That clarifies my question. Thank you.
So you got to realize that these things are in our basket, right? I'm talking to Kathy, I guess. And I think we're probably already signing it, to tell you the truth. The people that have arrived at the town hall have started to sign these. But
But if it got voted down, we'd have to pull it. So
yes. So
when we can get you.
all right. So now we passed the motion, we've had discussion, and now we're making Kathy the signatory. A little bit out of order, but that's fine. All right. And
Thank
any
you.
objections to that? Hearing none, then so it is. Thanks, Steve. Okay, Joe Fagnant, Plymouth Ford, accept bid and approve purchase order for a 2020 Ford F-550 six-wheeled cab and chassis. Joe, you want to talk to?
So we put it out to bid, and we had two bids. We had Irwin Ford and Plymouth. We had two others that didn't even put a bid in. So Plymouth Ford is that what I said?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Plymouth Ford is the one who's doing it. And then we're gonna send the chassis over to HP Fairfields to finish. They got the other bid. There was only two other bids for that too. So
So both of these purchase orders that Joe is submitting is for one vehicle.
Right.
one's the cabin and the other one's the body part of it.
Okay, I understand. Well, that's that body part is awfully expensive, it seems, but the dump body.
Are they doing the plow too?
Yes.
Right, they're doing.
Yep.
So
Wow.
Meredith, what has the cabin chassis,
Oh, okay.
Fairfields finishes it. They do the whole rest of it. The
On
body.
board approval. After the board says yes.
And yeah, I also see it's a 9-foot steel wing, and I mean it's a lot of material that HP Fairfields is going to be providing.
Well, we put a lot of work into it, especially Maya. He does a lot of this checking in with the vendors. And we've used Donovan, we've used Fairfields, and Fairfields has been our go-to person. They've treated us really well, and they were the lower bidder this time, so it worked out the same for us.
They have
Is it-
a good reputation for a long period of time.
Correct.
Where is Fairfields?
Concord.
Oh, okay. And it was appreciably lower than the second bid that you got, or they were the only ones to bid on this, or?
Nope, Donovan's bid, and they were higher.
Okay. All right. Any other questions regarding this before we?
Just so that I'm sure that I'm looking at the right thing, in the bond we approved in March, the estimated cost for this was $100,000 for dump truck. That's where I see the line item in here. I assume this is for that item and that you came in slightly under budget.
Correct.
That's right.
So the whole deal is under 100?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's just barely. It'd be like 98, something like that.
Under 100.
Happy, actually.
98, 99.
The two purchase orders are.
Right.
Yeah. Geez, Joe, you're killing it with the good bids. So, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the two bids for the truck and the apparatus that's going to be attached to it.
Okay, Neil
Second.
moved. Okay, Neil moves, Zach seconds. Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
And Bill, aye. Thank you, Joe.
I have one more also for a
I
chipper.
see that. Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Really. Does anybody else get any part of this bond? I'm only kidding, Joe. So, yeah, we've got the MB tractor, accept bid and approve purchase order for Bandit wood chipper.
All right, so there was two bids. And MB Tractor was $79 higher. But my guys have run both types of chippers. And Oregon is further out. And my guys actually like the brand that MB Tractor carries. So, and they're closer. So we went with a higher bidder, which was $79 higher, but my guys feeling comfortable with the brand that they're running and being closer to Chase for parts, and I think we justified that.
Okay.
What's the capacity of the chipper?
So it'll take a 12-inch log.
Is it John Deere power?
Do
Do you know what it's got for
I don't
power?
have the specs in front of me, but it's compatible to, it's a diesel.
Any other questions, or is there a motion?
Joe, is this replacing an existing piece of equipment or is it adding a chipper, a new thing in our highway fleet?
So we rent one and it's been costing us a lot in the downtime to go get it and then bring it back, and we've always wanted one and needed one, and this will be a blessing. We'll be able to go to work without all the downtime, just hook up and go to work and get stuff done.
Sometimes when you rent one, you might get one with problems, like dull knives or,
We do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And similar to my question before, this is the one that in the budget from the March meeting is listed as $55,000. So you're coming in 6,000 under budget, almost 7,000.
Right.
Fantastic.
So
Okay.
we did well there.
What's the total cost of the machine?
48,179.
Yeah.
48,000?
Yep. So, is there a motion at this point?
I move that we accept this bid for 48,179 for the 12-inch chipper.
Okay. is there
I'll
a
second.
All right. Neil moves, Mary Ann seconds. Mary Ann, your vote.
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, new and other business. Is Patricia Breslin here? Or to discuss Page Street lowering the speed limit?
I have not seen her zoom in.
Okay,
You
Did
did get
you
a
want-
4-page, in your email, you got 4 pages of notes from her that you can maybe look at later.
okay. All right, so I guess we'll bring that up for discussion at our next meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, we've been helping her in the neighborhood with some of the problems she's been having. So I've been in discussions with her, and we're going to continue to help her.
Okay. And so we may not need to bring it up at the next meeting, regardless, I guess. So,
She operates a daycare?
No, there's a daycare a couple doors down from her.
Oh.
Steve, how long have you been in discussions with her?
It's been off and on. I mean, she's had problems for quite a while there. I mean, part of the issue is if you're very familiar with Page Street, it's a very short road and it's a dead end. And even there's no speed limit posted there. But even if you go on a speed limit of 25, which is the lowest we could legally go, that's actually pretty fast. If you know what I mean? If you're a kid playing on the side of the road, somebody goes past you at 25 miles an hour on a very short road. What is the whole road? 150, 200 yards maybe? If that. So that's going by pretty fast, and that can be pretty intimidating, when you're a kid playing on the side of the road or riding your bike or even playing on the lawn. So we've been just trying to help her. We put the radar trailer out there several days. We've actually run some radar out there. The unfortunate thing is, we can't get anybody speeding because everybody's doing 25, 30 miles an hour, which is, within the legal limits. And so, but I think it does help that we go out there anyway. Just when people see our presence, I think it tends to slow them down a bit.
Chief, is it the people who live on that street that are speeding, or is it the patrons of the daycare?
Okay, well, the main complaint we've received is patrons from the daycare. And as a matter of fact, one of my duty officers tonight was going to go there tonight and speak to the daycare owner to see if we could get some results that way as well.
Yeah, I wondered if just speaking to the daycare owner and explaining, they might be able to pass it along to parents and maybe it would all just work itself out.
Well, my understanding is that the daycare owner and the complainant here don't really see eye to eye or get along very well. So I think that's kind of posing a problem. So, if we as a police department can get in the middle and kind of mediate, hopefully we can fix the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody could see it more as a safety issue and less of a personality issue, maybe.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. Sounds like you're on the right track.
Very good. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, is Crystal Dial online? Which?
I don't see her either. And I know that Colleen spoke with her and gave her the dial-in information that's on the website.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if there's any further discussion, I want to recuse myself from this conversation as a select board member.
Okay. All right. Shall we discuss the specifics of Crystal's concern, or is this going to be moved off to a different meeting? Because not unless Kathy, you want to voice what?
Anything in writing to us. Her concern was that she was walking with her children through the common, and I guess some guy was driving by and saw the flag and rolled his window down and started screaming obscenities at it. And she just felt that was like very inappropriate, especially with her young children. So she was not happy about the presence of the flag, and I mean, we've tried to explain to her that's it's common use. People have their rights and it's not hurting anybody, but so that's the gist of what I got from her. I thought she would be on here to explain more.
Any of the board members wish to?
Didn't we vote to approve that request?
You did not vote. You did support it.
Okay.
You were all in support of it, which is, well.
So that was kind of like an odd circumstance, actually. I wasn't quite thinking that was going to be the outcome of her concern. the fact that someone rolled his windows up to scream in his car to the sight of a pride flag.
That was the only information I was given. She was supposed to call in and tell you what her complaints were.
Okay. Well,
Moot point, I guess.
Seems
Yeah.
that we have a lot of conflict in our society.
No kidding. No
Yep.
matter what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, as a board member, I just want to reassert my support for the flag being there. And certainly it's good to discuss with anybody in the community who might have opposition to it, but it seems like the right thing to do.
I would second that, Zach. I think Neil already expressed his. So
Mr. Chair, is there an opportunity for the public to share any of their thoughts around this, or is that a moot point at this point?
no, thank you, Marianne. I was going to offer that actually, but there's a lot of people here, so I think if there is someone desiring to express their opinion, or please, okay, I see a thumbs up from Kathy LeBlanc. Kathy, you want to make a comment? You need to unmute yourself. Well, there you go.
I guess I would say she's mad at the wrong thing. She should be mad at the guy who's screaming obscenities.
Correct.
With you.
Thanks, Kathy, for stating the obvious.
If I can, may I just say something on a personal and on behalf of Plymouth State? As a gay man living in Plymouth, it was amazing to see that flag. It meant a great deal to me personally. But I will also say that I had probably 4 emails from current students who are currently living in town who emailed me to say, hey, have you seen the flag on the common? Isn't that great? And then I can tell you that we have a student coming this fall who came to visit, even though our campus is closed. He came with his family from Massachusetts last Saturday to just do a walk around campus, even though they couldn't go into buildings. His moms are married. They live in Boston. And I received an email from them thanking us for being so hospitable to them, even though they couldn't get in our buildings, and that the flag on the common made them feel like Plymouth might be a place their son should be able to come.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, Rowan. Anyone else?
Hi, Bill.
I'm proud to see it there. As a lesbian and a member of this community, I am proud to see that flag there. And thank you for hanging it for us.
And next June, maybe you think maybe not a parade, but at least maybe some activity on the common.
Oh, I'm thinking a parade, a pride event, something. We'll have some talk about it, build a committee and see what we can come up with. Because I think we need it here. And for a long time, it's been overdue.
Well, Plymouth and especially, PSU has, for decades been diverse. So it shouldn't be considered like something new or something to be yelling at inside your car, So I think, we'll be very successful in doing something next year. So in any event, was there somebody else that?
Yes, I was going to support the flag being on our common. I have 2 small children, and I'm proud to live in a town that posts that there.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Geneva, you have your hand up.
Hi, I would like to say, as a teacher in the middle school, how much it may have impacted our students, whether they're allies or part of the community, to see that empty flagpole when it was stolen. And I think that, as a town, we should be acknowledging that as well as celebrating the fact that it's there. It did impact me as a community member, as a teacher, as a member of the community, to see the empty flagpole in the first place. And I think it's paramount that the flag does stay up there, because the act of stealing the flag was an act of cowardice. And we should be teaching our students in our community about courage and standing up for what is right. And we should be asking them to question people and educate them rather than turn a blind eye. So I'm really happy to see that the flag is staying there, but I also think that we should also say it was stolen and that was hurtful for our community as well.
Thank you, Geneva. And I've been asked to ask whoever speaks to identify themselves by name and town. So Kristen, I see your hand was up again. Oh, did you want, actually, before you come back, Jenny, you have your hand up.
I wanted to throw out my support as well for the flag being there. I did have a question. Is it, because I failed at watching the select board meeting where this was discussed, is it going to be up forever or is it just Pride Month?
Well, I think we discussed it, having it up for Pride Month. Mary Ann, is that the case, or?
Yeah, that is the case, just for Pride Month. Although I would vote for all year long, but I suppose just for.
So would I. So would I.
Okay. Well, Caroline, I see a hand, two hands up.
I'm not Caroline, but do you want to go first? Hi, folks. Jeff Furlong, resident of Plymouth, work at Plymouth State University, and I just wanted to share after Geneva's statement, my daughter is one of her students and is an out young woman at age 12, and that is her pride flag replacing the one in the common right now, and she's very, very proud of that. And I can't tell you how much that has done for her self-confidence right now at a really important time in our lives. So thank you.
Very cool.
Thanks, Jeff. M.M. Flynn. Oh, is that you just complimenting Jeff for that statement? Geneva Sambor, once again.
Hi, I just I wanted to say thank you to the town as well and the members present that are speaking out and supporting.
Thank you. Well, is that it for discussion? It's too bad Leslie Rosewarne isn't going to speak because she's a dog, but anyway, thank you all for showing up for that. And well, actually, so Jennifer or Geneva, excuse me, don't go away because you're going to be discussing board support of the summer reading program for PES students. Geneva, you want to?
Yeah. So I have developed a Donors Choose project, which is an organization that helps public school teachers facilitate funding for various projects that they create themselves for their classrooms. Instead of creating a project for my individual classroom, I have taken it upon myself to create a summer reading program for grades 6 through 8 in Plymouth Elementary to be provided free books over the summer. Novels, diverse literature. I do realize that Pease Public Library has the curbside pickup. However, working with our students in the middle school on their reading, I know that they will not take advantage of online, access to books as much as having books in their hands, physical copies of them. So what I have done is I've created a Donors Choose. I have selected a long list of diverse titles that are recommended by the American Library Association. And I've partnered with our school librarian, Beth Wilkie, on this. And so far, since I've posted the Donors Choose, I have received $273 in funding, which is a great start. The project itself, I tried to aim under 1,000, but it would be serving 135 students. And the goal would be that each student would take home 2 books at least to have in their own libraries at home. And I do a survey with my students at the beginning of every school year. And I do ask them, how many books do you have in your house? And I get various answers, but mostly a trend I've seen is that many of them own less than 20 books themselves, and more than half of those books might be from when they were very little. So the goal essentially would be to order all these books that are on this list. Donors Choose does require that you meet the full amount before they provide things for you and help you further. I do still need about $900, but I was sort of asking if the town would help support this project for the middle school. It doesn't need to be the full amount at all. And I'm not requesting that, but I would love the town's support on this in collaboration with this. And the idea with the title, Books in Common, is that students would be able to safely visit the town common in small groups organized by volunteers and myself to come and select books for their kids to bring home. So that's sort of the whole thing in a nutshell. I would love to answer questions about it or any follow-up clarification.
Very good. Thanks, Geneva. Any questions from the board?
Jenny, how did you get in contact with or how do you contact these kids right now? How did they express that they'd want to take part in this program?
So I have been in contact with some of the kids toward the end of the school year. I did ask them in writing conferences toward the end of the year when this idea was still kind of bubbling up, if they would be interested in having books. Kids get very excited about new books. And I really believe that middle schoolers, especially, I haven't been able to survey the 7th and 8th graders. I haven't been in contact with them or the families. However, I do have strong relationships with those kids. I've taught now all of the kids that are currently in the middle school. So I think that with outreach and with the help of the SAU office, we could reach out to them and make sure that they know that the program's happening. But the goal really is that the middle schoolers have just the chance to go look at books and just pick 1 or 2 out for themselves. Sort of like a book fair, but don't have to pay for them.
That seems like a great program.
Getting back to your initial request as far as like maybe getting a financial help from the town, I don't think that can happen, but we could probably facilitate it by putting it on our website and our Facebook, and I'm sure we could publicize it in some manner.
I definitely was more looking for that collaboration to get the word out and have community members sort of join in as they see fit. And I have spoken to some business owners already about it just to advertise and kind of help with that. And I anticipate that our community will come together.
Right. Good.
So Jenny, how can they donate? Are you gonna give us
yes. So I will, in advertising, I do have a link to the Donors Choose page, and you do need to directly donate to the Donors Choose page. I don't know if I can use the chat in here in the Zoom call, but I can put the link in there or just send it to the town. It's up to you how you would like to receive that. But I do have a shortened link that you can follow to the Donors Choose page directly.
I have something. Is this something that we could put on our face page or on our website?
Definitely. This is a digital link, so you'll be able to post it pretty much anywhere. I've also made it a shortened bit.ly link so that it's not like this long junk of a hyperlink. So yes, definitely. I just would need, I guess, a few contacts to see, to share that out so that you would have that available.
Geneva, if you're able to send me a link, I'll see that it gets put on some of the Plymouth University social media as well, because I know we have a lot of community members who love to help out the town, and this is a nice way for them to be able to do that.
Great, thank you so much.
So as far as like a contact, actually, Zach, do you want to kind of take the lead, or also Juliet?
So I simultaneously love this program, but also having a kid in the grade group that benefits from it, I'd probably have to recuse myself.
If you send it to the town hall's email, then we can share it and put it on our website.
True.
Perfect.
So Geneva, that's townhall@plymouth-nh.org.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think this is really important to maintain this link, in the summertime and keep kids reading, because reading today is something that a lot of kids just aren't doing.
Yes, I really did originally think of this project as a response to COVID and libraries and public spaces being closed, but I do think it has the potential to be a summer program in Plymouth. Definitely.
Geneva, did you say you were going to be on the Common at some point?
Correct. Yes, that's another reason why I wanted to address this at a town hall meeting. I would love to collaborate and use the common as a space for kids and families to safely pick up the books outdoors and sort of have that middle of town and easy spot to come by.
Okay, can you come to the town hall and see us?
Of course.
So we can coordinate with you. Just let us. We're opening to the public. We're opening our doors July 6th.
Okay.
But if you come before then, just let us know that you're here and we'll let you in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
And yeah, Sarah Terrell posted the link as well. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And yes, it's a great program. So, and what else? Well, we have, actually, I didn't make a statement earlier, but I just want to let people know that it's kind of sad news, actually. Everyone knows Val Scarborough and her husband, Jack. You know, Val's been chair of the select board for several years, been on the select board. And Jack, he himself has been on the planning board and I'm not sure what else, but, you know, very.
He was on the ZBA, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
He was a trustee as well.
He's what?
He was a trustee as well.
Oh, okay. So obviously they've been very involved in the community, and it's unfortunate that Jack passed away yesterday. And our hearts and our love go out to Val, dealing with that right now. So anyway, are there any committee reports? Not to go back to reality here. Has anybody have a report to give on a community?
Campus Community Council met, but Marlin already summarized pretty much everything we talked about. So my report is see prior agenda item.
Okay. John, anything?
Nothing.
And Neil?
No.
Mary Ann?
The planning board met last week, and we'll be doing a site visit the week after next. A Tenny Mountain being developed, an area for an RV park as well as a driving range. The RV park will be quote unquote upscale and only open 6 months out of the year. So we are going down to just get a better feel of the site and understand the impact of the site as well, of the development.
Okay. Actually, I saw a vehicle down there looking at the site. So it's a site directly across from that little strip mall.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Are there any public comments? All right. Well, in that case, is there a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Yeah. Okay, it was a tie for movements, but that's okay. Mary Ann moves, Zach seconded. Mary Ann, your vote.
Aye.
Zach.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Neil.
Aye.
Bill. Aye. And we're adjourned.